Hello and welcome to Facebook Live with Selene. I am a little bit early today. Hopefully I didn't catch everybody off guard. If not, you can let me know if you're watching live or if you're catching me on the hashtag replay. I appreciate all of you. Hang on. Hashtag replay. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you guys hopping on. Sorry that I'm very early today. You might wonder what's going on. The main event today is going to be the live workshop at 6 p.m. When I get off, I'm going to make a note. Hello. Make a note. Live workshop link up in the directions. The description. I always say that wrong. Live workshop tonight. I have a note now. So there is a live workshop tonight, and it's all fun folds and gift card holders. So I hope that you'll consider joining us. And if you're not going to be around tonight at 6, don't worry. The recording will be there for a whole week. I'll put it over on YouTube with a special host code. And if you decide that you want to make a purchase, there will be some ordering incentives. You'll get a full packet of the pre-cut packet in the mail with an order over $30, and over $50 you'll also get embellishments. So today, hi Elaine. So today I wanted to make it super easy on me. But I'm also going to go pick up my daughter after school and surprise her with dinner. She has to be to robotics by 5. She is now the co-captain of the robotics team. So on her birthday, what does she want to do? She wants to go to robotics. So I'm going to surprise her with dinner beforehand because it's her 18th birthday. So that's why I'm here a little bit early so that I can make all of that happen in one day. And boy, I love that my job lets me do that. So anyway, I am looking at some of the paper for tonight. You know what? I'm going to flip the camera over and keep the comments coming so I know that you're here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I have to say, I am so grateful for you and for everybody, all my supporters. It doesn't matter if you're a demonstrator and you watch, or if you're a customer and you watch, or if you stop by and you say hello. I just want you to know today and every day I'm grateful that I can be here and do this for my work. All right, let me flip the camera. I think I'm supposed to say that my results aren't typical, but let me tell you, my results with Stampin' Up! Have never been typical. So it's kind of like, yeah, well, what else do you want me to say, right? Okay. So what do you think of this paper? So I have a girlfriend who's like, I don't want anything to do with the gnomes. I mean, I know that they're popular and I know that people like them, but it's just not my thing. Well, I'm here to tell you that my favorite part of the gnome paper is actually side B. I love the gnomes. I think they're cute, but there's a lot of elegant designs in this paper. And oh, here, let me give you a preview of tonight's class. Here, I'll just put this off to the side for a second. So we have a gift card holder that looks like a present with a surprise, and you can swap this out for Christmas. The stamp set has a Be Jolly that fits on this, and it has a Merry Christmas that fits on this. So you can stamp either way, whatever you happen to need. Then there's this pocket, which is also a tree hugger. You can hang it on the tree. And this one, I've been looking at this layout all week. My friend Cheryl designed a swap challenge for us. And we all swapped cards, and I kept getting cards in the mail with this layout. Well, I took mine and turned it into a gift card holder. So we'll share that tonight. And then a matchbook. So an old book of matches would have a tight little hold right here, and we'll use a stapler to close that up, but it's my matchbook fold card. In addition, those who make purchases over 30 and use that host code tonight, which I will have out later on, you'll get a PDF with all of the measurements and everything after the class. So that's pretty cool too. And those are ready to go out. So they'll even go out tomorrow if the orders come in today. Okay. So this paper had me thinking, well, actually, I should back up a little bit. I want to tell you about the weekend. So this weekend I gotta show you this. This is crazy. Over 100 cards. I needed to start my Christmas cards, my own personal Christmas cards for my team. And you guys may have seen some of these on social media. This one, I was saying, do we want a circle or no circle? I think the no circle won. And then I made a bunch of these. And I got some questions about it, about cutting the paper. So today I'm going to just go over that real quick because seriously, we could make 12 cards in no time. And then I made a bunch of these, and I got questions about the Stamparatus. And just as a point of good service, I'm going to put this on a block, and I'll show you that even though mine sticks, it's not that big a deal because of, there's a couple ways you can make it so it doesn't matter if it sticks or not. I'll show you what I did, but then I'll show you probably how it's supposed to be done because I never do anything the way that it's supposed to be done. This is my last card, and I didn't use the Stamparatus for this. I inked it up and stamped it, and then a few of them, let's see. Let me see if I can show you the different, because there's a few different ones. There's some with gold accents. And then the first couple that I did, I cut this image super tight to the point that there was no border. The first one I made had 2 layers. It was so tight. Let me see. But yeah, I made all of these over the weekend. And so I started at about 7 in the morning on Saturday morning. And 7 at night, I finished with these. And I said to my husband, okay, Uncle, I'm done. So this one, the difference between this one and this one is this was using that paper that has the bokeh look with all the circles, and I thought that that looked really pretty with like a regular rhinestone. And then this one had a gold finish in the background, so instead I used the Jolly Pearls to finish it off. I'll post a picture of these here in a little bit. This is the Casing Tuesday sketch challenge for this week. So all of these cards, I was hoping for them all to have a little bit of green in them because I got my team a little something. And I'll be filling those out over Thanksgiving and hopefully getting them in the mail to my team by the end of the week so that I can start my Christmas cards, my customer Christmas cards, because all of these are basically just for my team. Isn't that crazy? So this one is for tonight, and this is using a different paper. This is using the side B of the gnomes. And oh my gosh, even though like, hello, how cute is he? All right, so now that you know where my brain is at, oh, look, I lost a rhinestone. It happens. Okay, I'll step on that later, I'm sure. So here is the gnome paper, but like I said, the star for me is really side B. This just looks like a nice warm sweater. This one I'm going to put to the side because I want to do something with this with you guys. This one's my favorite. This is the front and that's the back. They're both beautiful. Here's the mushroom. I don't know how I feel about mushrooms. I almost always use side B when I see mushrooms. I think it was something to do with being born in the 1970s, and I'm just going to leave it right there. Speaking of mushrooms, aren't those beautiful, those snowflakes? Oh my gosh. So I would definitely be using side B on that. So if gnomes aren't your thing, don't discount the beauty of this paper. It is so elegant and gorgeous. It makes me happy enough that I used it on this week's free workshop. Okay. So getting to the questions that I had over the weekend, someone was asking me about how I cut the paper if my audio isn't right because the heater is on, just let me know and I'll shut it off, but I'm so cold. All right, so this paper is from the Fitting Florets paper. It's like a bundle that's available, and the bundle will be available in the January through April catalog. The holiday stamp set, the separate stamp set, will not, and this paper won't carry over. So if you did want that, might want to jump on that this month because it's while supplies last in the month of November. In fact, I think that these little gold doohickeys have already sold out. They're like little spiral gems, and I do have a couple packs left. I sent one to a customer that placed a $100 order, and she really wanted them, and she used the host code, so I had a couple packs, and I sent her one. But this paper is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to take my paper for that layout, and I'm just going to cut it down the middle at 6. Here we go. I swear I'm going to cut it one of these days. Now, you remember this paper cutter has superpowers. When you're up against the fence, it's 6. If you want our normal 5.5, it's this line that goes all the way up and down. But I'm going to go all the way to the fence and know that I'm at 6. I don't even need to measure. And then I'm going to cut this down into 4-inch strips. So I'm on the 4-inch line. So the line goes all the way up and down, which I like. And 4-inch line. Love it. So I cut 2 pieces there. And then there was nothing fancy about that cut. All I did was I took the whole paper, the 4x6 at this point, and I kind of put it on an angle here and chopped it up. Now, some of these could go so that that's bottoms up, or you could use the flip side. I wanted some of them to be just like the card that we made, right? So they would be like that if I wanted to. But we don't have to make them the same every single time. We don't have to use the same pattern every single time. So you get 6 4x6. Whoop, I want to go that way. Out of one sheet of 12 by 12, or you get 12 of these that are hacked in half, right? Super cool. So we can decide when we start making our cards how we want it to go. And they can all be different. Oh, all the way from Montana. Thank you, Mary Ellen, for being here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I know it's a strange time, but it's my daughter's birthday, so I gotta go rescue her from early from school and make sure she has dinner before she goes and changes the world, you know. She's gonna be doing robotics tonight. So all right, so I'm gonna start by cutting just this off a little bit. I'm not worried about that. What I want to do is I want to cut some strips. So if I was gonna cut a 1/4 inch, I could just go to here, because that's the 1/4 inch mark. If I was going to cut a 1/2 inch, I'd cut at the second line, right? Because it's on the other side. I can just, there's a measurement that goes on, there's a measurement that goes on both sides of this paper cutter. But I want kind of to go 3/8. So I'm going to go in the middle of those 2 lines. Now, when I did this earlier this weekend, and I was doing this, I didn't cut one at a time. I put it on the bigger trimmer that I have. It's an old guillotine from Stampin' Up, and I just went to town. But I'm not even gonna worry too much about how much it is. I'm gonna say we could even make some like a 1/2 and some like, but I like the 3/8 look for this card. Okay, so that we made a few strips. Oh, Robin. She's 18 today. She's an adult. She can vote. I know, it seems like such a big deal to me, and for her, she's like, yeah, it's just another day on the calendar. But I think I want some of the Pacific Point as well. So 18, can you believe that? I'm gonna go 5.5. Might help if I use the cutting blade. Here, let me show you how to do it. And then we'll just make a couple more strips. So like normally you could go into your scraps to make stuff like this, right? But I don't happen to have a lot of scraps, so. And like I said, I'm not being fussy at all. I am just gonna make strips for making cards. And I could pay attention to the measurement on that side, but I'm not. Such a rebel. Card making rebel. That could be like my new persona. What do you think? Why have rules? That's not any fun. Okay. All right. So we have all these little strips, and we have these strips. Okay. And now we have I was like, oh, we don't have. I have some balmy blue. I have some native navy, and I also grabbed Pacific Point. So now I'm gonna take this, and we're gonna go the long way again. And so I'm gonna score at. We're gonna go the long way, right? So I'm gonna cut at 4.5. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna score at 5.5. And then I'll cut in half at 4.25. That's funny. I had to really think there for a second. All the projects tonight, the measurements are already done. So I'll be just showing you all the gift card holders and how we made them. But these will just make some card bases. So I'm just folding these in half. So again, I'll score in half at 5.5. And then I'll cut at 4.25. And I don't know if you noticed, sometimes I do it the other way. Like I'll cut at 5.5 and score at 4.25. I'll tell you the reason that I choose one over the other is mainly about taking the picture of the card afterwards, because if I have this card and it's standing on the shelf, I can stand it up and take a nice flat picture of it if it's going the long way. But if this were going the other way, it might be harder to photograph if it's on an angle or whatever. So that's why I choose that one over the other. Okay. So then I did cut some quarter sheets. I don't know if that's right. Nope, that's not right. This one's right. Ta-da! And I think I have a Merry Christmas over here from my, oh, yeah, it's all the way up there. I gotta grab it. So let's take a look at the designer paper first and see. I'm just gonna stick that under there so that it doesn't pop out at me. What design we want to use. I kind of liked the bottom side of that first one. It was like the like that one. This is totally different than what we did before, right? So now will my Merry Christmas fit? Well, yep. So I'm looking at this and thinking I should grab Night and Navy. Funny how that happens. Like I didn't even think about it until I saw it cut. So Merry Christmas. This is from the tag set that we're going to use tonight for the online online workshop. And like I said, I'll put the link to that group up in the description. We'll be going live at 6 o'clock. And I will be by myself tonight because my daughter is doing her robotics awesomeness. Okay. There we go. And I'm just using the paper to line it up. So this is the same idea for all of these cards. Now, we could put it on this. Tell me, which do you prefer? Do you want it on balmy blue? Or do you want it on Night of Navy for the base? You tell me what you prefer, and then we'll stick it down. So we'll call, if you don't want to type a lot, we'll call that choice A and this choice B. But Night of Navy or balmy blue, you tell me. Hi, Polly, good to see you. While I'm waiting for you to answer A or B, I'm gonna cut a couple of those strips in navy, I think, because I have a feeling which way that's gonna go. Ta-da. I think I'm feeling the same way as many of you. Look, 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 B, 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 navy, navy, navy. All right, navy it is. Love it. So we got a couple of navy strips here, just like that. Well, maybe not just like that. Sticky fingers. Well, I got chilly fingers. That's what the deal is. So this strip that I cut, that was 3/8 or whatever, it really takes the place of ribbon, don't you think? Because it makes it soft and beautiful. So let's get a little bit of liquid glue, and let me show you a trick with this. If you're going to make a bunch of these and you're putting these strips on, I would say put your designer paper on and then use some liquid glue right against, like I'm scratching the paper here, and it's just a tiny bit of liquid glue, so it's not all over my hands. It's nice and thin. Let me see if I can show you a close-up. Nice and thin, but by putting it on the paper, I'm not like messing with my fingers or having to wait for it or anything. I'll just put it there to set up. And be careful because it spreads out. I just got a little bit on my finger, but usually I can get out using that method without having anything on my hands, which is pretty awesome in itself. Really simple, pretty layout. And then I have 11 more pieces of that designer paper to make more cards. So it really goes a good distance, and it's fast work. So, you know, I need hundreds of Christmas cards. I needed just 100. I made just 100 for my team on Saturday. And this was the fastest of all the layouts that I did. And of course, it probably could use a little wink of Stella on those trees that are, oh, even this guy needs some wink, right? But we can dress it up with wink of Stella. We can put some rhinestones. And then I will definitely put an insert before I mail this one off, but another one bites the dust. We got another Christmas card made. I have this little strip of loveliness on the table, and this is the strip that actually comes in the kit for tonight's class. They are iridescent rhinestones. I just flipped it right off. But I like that you can see through them, and they add sparkle to anything, so I might sprinkle that on. Oh yeah, ding ding. Always when you're live. Hopefully my husband will get that. Ta-da. Might be UPS. I'm waiting for a couple of packages, so. But there's the idea. That's so funny. No. So What was that?
He didn't see the no soliciting sign until after ringing the doorbell.
Oh, good. The solicitor came to the door, rang the doorbell, and then saw the no soliciting sign, and then told my husband so. Oh, that's funny stuff. You can't make that up. Only when you're live, though, right? All right. I had a little mitten on the table, but my mitten is MIA. All right, well, I'm going to have to just do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. I love the stamp set. It is so pretty. I stamped a mitten. I punched one out, I swear. But it's already missing. Okay, so here we go. Shout out to my mother-in-law for the awesome no soliciting sign that the person doesn't read. Gotta love it. All right, I'm gonna cut like this so that I'm not dealing with that whole piece of paper. And then we'll, so the trick to fussy cutting, and I could have just went over to the die cutter and cut this out because the die is actually on the cutter. But the trick to good fussy cutting is to keep your hand stationary and move the paper and not the scissors. So keep the scissors in front of you. All the kindergartners across the street, when I went over to teach them how to cut with scissors, they learned how to cut that way. Now, fun fact about me, I hold my scissors on the third ring, and I was trained like that because I am still a hairdresser. So I have my cosmetology license, but when I cut hair, that's where my hand sits in the scissor. Next time you go to your hairdresser for a haircut, take a look. She probably does the same thing, or he. Funny information. Okay, we need a cleaner. Do we want to Merry Christmas again? Or do we want to celebrate you? I have a Let's Celebrate You on the table too. Oh, the strip tape. Oh, that sounds like a fun idea. Yeah, if I used the strip tape hat, I could sprinkle glitter over the top with it. I don't know if that's what you meant, but the messy table. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm rolling the stamp over to make sure that I have even coverage of ink on my stamp. The first time I did that, it didn't have any ink on it at all. So this way, I know that I've got, so I'll use every bit of this paper and make 12 more cards in short order. And that's good when you're a busy person, right? Because you can knock 12 out at a time and use up your paper. Let's see what we got. I'm trying to decide. Ooh. I think this blends too much. I think I'm gonna go for the balmy blue and use the contrasting color, which is a bit different. I am a fan of monochromatic, but I like contrast too. And those are in the same blue family. So I wouldn't put it with Pool Party because Pool Party would be on the green side of blue. Here we go. And I did cut this the other way, but what can you do? Let's give that a trim. So I'm flipping it over so that I can get the nice clean line that's already there and use that to cut. So I'm not like guessing. Instead of liquid glue. Yeah, I like liquid glue. So here it is on the table, and this is how I put on a card front with liquid glue. It's just like little dots. I know that some people like to use it like a lot and it gets thick, but then you end up seeing the lines. So this is about the amount that I use when I use liquid glue to adhere to a card front. The other thing that's kind of nice about this is it gives you a minute to move it around. So if it's not quite in the middle, like mine is not, right? You can have a minute to position it. So I guess it just depends on how you're feeling at the moment, right? But that's all good information. Let's see. The strip makes the DSP pop. Yeah, I could have gone with the darker blue, but I think it would have been like overkill. I think that this is pretty. Oh, I almost want a second mitten now. Such is the life of a card maker. Well, it's good that I already have one cut, so when I find it on the table later, I can stamp that one up. But pretty simple, pretty cute. Here we go. And I think I want a big old rhinestone for the middle of that. I need to, there's not enough gunk on the end of the take your pick. So you know the deal with this, right? It's got sticky stuff, but it's not meant as adhesive. It's just meant to grab what you need. So you fast forward it and then you pull back on it. And then I like to flatten mine down. Now it should be working right. I must have just been off the side or something with mine. But when it goes, it's so easy to pick stuff up. And this thing, they sell refills for it. Mine is as old as the hills, but there's card 2. So that's real simple. And like I said, it'll make 12 cards out of the gate. The second thing I want to show, I had a question about Stamparatus. So I'm going to bring it in. So a person said to me that when they were inking up their image, that they were getting, the paper was getting stuck. Now, this is meant for photopolymer, like if you're going to use this, that's meant for red rubber. So I'm going to take the mat off. And I'm going to use the lines. There's lines on here. I don't know if you can see them in the video, but I'm gonna use lines to get this lined up. And before I do that, can you see that I make Sharpie marks on my Stamparatus? Well, that's because I don't always want there we go. So that's where I'm going to place my paper. And now I have a guideline as to where to put it to exactly line it up if I were to move it. So I'm going to put this here. And then let's grab a sentiment. Oh, I haven't used this one yet. The Light of the World. So beautiful. I know I'll have to trim this down after, but it'll be fine. So then I'm going to pick this up with my Stamparatus. And I'm going to take the whole door off and make sure that I'm straight. So I am. The image is straight on there. But the sentiment is not straight with the lines on the block. So I'm going to just adjust that. I have it where I want it just about. But now I can see that my words are going to be straight. Then I'm going to stick this down. The Stamparatus comes with 2 magnets, and I don't even keep one near the other because if you've ever gotten yours stuck together, you know exactly what I'm about to say. But if you're using this, you shouldn't have the issue of your ink pad sticking. But let's see what it does, because mine did stick, but I wasn't lining it up here. I was lining it up in the corner. So when I did mine, all I had to do was stick the paper back in the corner again. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. and stamp more than once. So here's my first go at it. Now what I did notice was right around Joseph's elbow, it wasn't like going even. So I'm gonna hold that for 5 seconds where Joseph's elbow is roughly. And then I'm just gonna nice and easy smooth. I didn't put a ton of pressure. I didn't hurt my hand or anything. And look, it didn't like stamp it all up there. But I'm gonna use even pressure. And then my magnets got it. It did move, I think, a tiny bit, which would be bad, but I'm gonna move it back manually. Now I'm gonna ink up again. And it's okay if your paper sticks, as long as you have a good system for how you're setting up your image. Like, there's ink on my block. What I did last time was I got it just up in the corner, and I did this one because it's such a huge stamp. I didn't even bother with the magnet, and it definitely stuck every time. Oh, the top of that one doesn't want to go. Now I'm gonna revive it. Clear. There we go. So now so you can see that I went like 2 or 3 times here. And then now, because I know this needs to be cleaned, I'm just gonna get it out of my way. But it did leave a pretty clean image, and I'll be able to cut this down and create another card with it. I took the mat off because the mat is, from my understanding of how these work, the mat is this thing. So when you have a photopolymer stamp, you don't have that. So because this is red rubber, I took the mat off because I was stamping with red rubber because it has a mat. So this is the same distance or the same thickness as the mat that sits underneath all of our rubber stamps. Does that make sense? So it's my understanding that the Stamparatus was designed. In fact, here, let me take the camera down. So Tanner Smedley from the Stampin' Up! Home Office came to Billerica, Massachusetts, and he came to an event from the Stampin' Up! Home Office to get us to test the Stamparatus before it came out. So I was able to see it, and my customers were able to see it. So it is there that I learned that this thing is to use when you're using photopolymer, and that the other piece that should be plain if you're using the red rubber. So that's how I learned that bit. But yeah, actually my customers were part of the hinge thing, like learning how to do the hinge. So it was quite exciting to have the home office ask us in developing a product what they could do to make it better. It just goes to show you how much they care about us. Yeah, it was quite an experience. That's how I learned that little piece. So the other thing is, you might notice I don't use the stickers. I slide mine in the back of the sample. So yeah. So that's it for now. I am going to jump off, and I will see you guys at 6:30 in the online workshop. I have a fully prepared 4-card class for you. It's all fun folds for gift cards. I sure am thankful for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're here now, or if you're on the hashtag replay, make sure that you say hello and let me know how I can serve you. These 2 things that we covered today were just questions that I got over the weekend about some cards that I posted. So I hope that you had fun, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.